Welcome to the stream, though, folks. I really appreciate you being here. Today we are going to continue playing some classical World of Warcraft as Nemerensis, Undead Warlock, currently in Tearsful Glades. We do have our other characters set up, the OG look of Soulkrist. If you look at my portrait art for Twitch and YouTube, or sorry, Twitch, YouTube, and Discord, I recognize his hair. This is where it came from. We have Earthbane set up, who would be our druid if we ever have to die. We have Veradak, our shaman, if we ever die. And this is someone I've just been playing with, Hunter. Let's jump on in. Let me just get my screen set up. That means your survivability has risen at 20%. Let's see, we've got a wee bit of rested experience. That's good. Good morning, Erica. How are you doing? Someone has a boar. Their name Brad. Buddha bread. Let's see, we need to actually go to... God, it's this track. Crazy. We need to go to Undercity before that becomes useless. We also need to go back to Agman Mills. And over here to the Balnear Farm. No, up here to the Scarlet Watch Post. Is it Bread 13? Wow. Death Depth. I have Garnham with me right now, because I summoned them to see if they had fire on their feet because of the thumbnail I made yesterday for today's stream. Honestly, I love that thumbnail. I think it's hilarious. I think it's great, and I think it's one of the best I've ever done. I don't mean that, but I do think it's fun and creative. So if you saw the thumbnail and liked it, thanks. If you didn't like it, well, we got a different taste, and that's okay. Alright, I need something that'll give me EXP. There, level 7. Without that, this doesn't give me a soul shard. I should have put another dot on it. Oops. We didn't kill it with drained souls, so we didn't get a thing. Next, letter 7. There we go. There we go. We'll just dot it up galore. There we go. All the dots. Give me your soul shard. Give me my void walker. I want my big blueberry. Yes, welcome in, chatters. Whether you be on YouTube or Twitch or both for some of you. Because thanks for the support. I hope you're having a great day. Gnomes, he's right here. We just had to resummon him. When you log out, I logged in and resummoned my imp so that I could look at its image to see if in Classic if they had the green flames or not. They do. So yeah, I had done summon and I had to get another shard. We've got our demon skin on, rank 2. Give us 120 armor as well as 5 HP per 5 seconds. So 1 HP per second is not terrible. We are going back to the Agman Mills. Make us a health stone. So that we can do the family crypt and also put that up there. I'll take the Lich's identity off though. When we go towards Silver Pine, I think we'll hook it to Undercity. Also, I need to discover what's over here. I could do that now. You'd be on defensive. Nope. Come on over. That's why I had you in there. Yeah, I don't remember what's down here, so let's go discover real quickly. But I took a nice shower this morning. I really wanted to. And now my face feels dry. Oh, you get your soul shard back if they unsummon? That's interesting. Hey there, Crystal. How you doing? I would argue that, you know, Alexander could be here for this. I mean, I know we're undead, but it's not that spoopy. I don't think. But again, well, I would argue it should be fine considering how much Nightmare Before Christmas you all watch in your home. But again, your child, you make the choice. But welcome in, Crystal. Patty's Rick, if you're around, hello. Alex, if you're around, hello. Folks, if you have coffee, drink up. I do need moisturizer, you're right, because it is, it's winter, so the air is less moist now. Where is the mill? I'm actually gonna, or not the mill, the classic WoW head. I'll look it up real quick. Family. Okay, it's in the top right corner. Around here. WoW. Are you playing WoW? I am. WoW Classic Hardcore server, in fact, my friend. We started Saturday. No, Friday? When did we started yesterday, but we did 2 streams yesterday. Technically, you'll see 4 VODs because we had some internet issues. Hopefully we don't today, but we'll find out. We already got to level 12 as a Warlock. We got our Jimenez. That's what I know his name is Jomnuz, but I'm calling him Jimenez because why not? Yeah, we're just chilling. Do I have any scrolls to buff? I don't. I need to get my cloth. What do I need to get to? 40? Yeah. And we are going Affliction Warlock. Oh, with our second point. Boom! 4% chance for them to not resist my spells. Well, my Affliction spells, which is really solid because I hate it when you cast a spell and they're like, no. Go all the way up to 10. It does. I mean, the hardcore servers just came out in like August, I think, so they're fresh, they're new. Ooh, is that the rare spot? No, it's not, darn. Alright, come off of here. There it is. There's where we're going. I'm pretty sure that's where we're going. And let's just keep leveling this wand. There's 5 away, it's not bad. Dose of agony. Yeah, WoW Classic has been really successful. Honestly, from what I know, the whole time it's been around, like, you know, it started, it was huge, and then Burning Crusade version came out, then Lich King, and now they're about to release Cataclysm coming out again. So a lot of people are excited for this, and honestly, that's a good thing, because this is, to me, when video games were a lot better. Before they started making everything monetized, before they started making everything super easy. Yes, I want games to be accessible to other people. I want games to have that ability for folks to jump in, but I also don't want it to be taken away from those that like a more challenging style. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having both, and that's what I think this does. Classic gives the older style players what they want, and modern retail gives the newer players what they want, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them being split up. Weapon skills, yeah, I like. It's like, ooh, people did not make it. We've got to be careful in here. These are some tight corridors. So we're gonna be cautious with our mana. We're gonna be cautious. Let me see. I'm gonna get us another soul stone, just in case we need to make another health stone. Okay. Yeah, I like the weapon skill idea, because it's like, hey, if you want to use something, you actually have to get good with it. Kind of like Morrowind. You know, you can't just pick up a spear when you're late in the game and be okay. You gotta use it, kind of thing. For anyone that doesn't know, your level of your weapon skill is your chance to hit. I believe chance to crit as well. Let's kill you just in case. I don't want you aggroing us in the hallway or anything like that. But we're going to use the wand a lot, not just to level, but because it's good damage. And I want to conserve mana. It'd be nice if they were both in the same game and you could choose which style you wanted. I mean, with one subscription, you get access to both. There's a lot of reasons they can't do that, Erica. The major one is that the world is incredibly different. When an expansion called Cataclysm came out, the world experienced a cataclysm where this giant dragon named Deathwing obliterated the world. And so the world is just, it's not the same place anymore. And as you get up here, let's take them out one by one. I need you to get these guys off me, Jimenez. And see, this is what I mean. This is dangerous. This is dangerous stuff. We gotta go. We gotta go. This is disgusting. We're probably gonna die here, folks. Very good chance we die here. Is this the end of the horror run? Okay, we made it. We're okay. Well, I was gonna be, so what happened was I put up a poll, Patrick, to let people vote, and if Mage got like nothing, but had Mage won, we would have been a gnome. So for like OG Final Fantasy 11 Reborn, well, original just doesn't exist anymore in Final Fantasy. They scrapped it because that game was unfortunately hot garbanzo beans. So, but it's really that the Cataclysm expansion, which was the third expansion, just altered the world completely. And so a lot of people didn't like that. They're like, hey, we want the old world back and we want the old systems back. And that's the biggest thing, is the systems are different. Like, this talent system does not exist anymore. Oh shit, we have 3? Let's put one into corruption, being quicker. Now it's cast in 1.6. Yeah, we gotta be really careful here. Tabletop Dungeon Crawler Classics? I don't know what that is. Oh no, since this is faster, I should not lead with it. Get us another one of these so we can make another health stone. I don't like that she did that either, but I get it. You know, she was going the entirely big evil, and I get it. You gotta keep in mind she had not all of the control. Once we found out who was really pulling the strings. Do you mean the... I mean, I've got the World of Warcraft, like D&D game. I have that. That's what you mean. In there. Alright, you finished those terraria tunnels, man. Good to see ya. Let's use another one of these. Get us another thing. But this is a place that once we finish it, we are very much so going to just hearth out. Ooh, okay, I can see him. I'm gonna pull him over here. You stay on pat. Did we pull the other one? We did. Oh my god, we pulled a bunch of them. Gotta go. Why? Why did it pull 3? The pops. Oh, you got one? Well, my dots probably got one. Okay, they've reset. Ooh, they didn't reset. That's actually nice. Attack. Put an instant dot on that one. Okay. This is really good. Now they're dead. Again. Not enough mana. Look at that. We are 3 levels above these folks, and they're still a huge concern. It's really cool to have to play so cautiously. Like, I always play cautiously in WoW. I don't want to die. But this is a different level of that. Can we get in there? So I know they upped the spawn rates. Look at that, 2 dead people. I know they upped the spawn rates from True Classic. But hopefully not too much. Hopefully we can still make some progress. You getting in there now? I can't cast that. We definitely want to just do as much damage to them as possible, as quickly as possible, so that we can get them out of the way. Hey, Firebirds, how you doing? Good to see ya. Alright, Torment. Oh, right, I can health funnel. God. More mana. Oh, it hurts me? I eat them. I know they're ghosts, but they are undead. Yeah. Hee-haw. Okay. Get in there. Wailing Ancestor. We also need a Rotting Ancestor, which is right to our left. Very good. Just to save time, I'm gonna go with the Rotting Ancestor now. Look at you, Captain Adorable. Go, finish that one off. Ooh, our defense is going up, that's good. Reduces the chance of being crit. Okay, get in here. Let's use some bandages. honestly, Jimenez, you just get in there now. Part of me wants to Curse of Weakness, but since we didn't buy the improved version, eh. Let's see. Give 12 health to the caster's pet every... Yep. So you lose it yourself. Terrifying. Okay, let's GTFO from this place. I'm not running through it. The fact that we get 120 extra armor is kind of nuts. Let's see how much that benefits us, in fact. Let's see. So without it, we'd reduce 7.8. With it, 14.5. It literally doubles our damage resistance. And playing back the 3 Persona games. Ooh. You must have all the time in the world. How do you do that as a dad? Block shots.
I haven't got all day.
Yes, you do. We've talked about this. You have all day. You're dead. Let's level this. Let's do the bolts of linen until it's green, probably. Yeah, you gotta watch the screen for chats. If you're wanting to see people from YouTube and Twitch combined. Can we get a level up? It's still yellow. Come on. Thank you. Ooh, it's still yellow. Can we get up to 35? Driving down the road in my automobile. Got this thing to sell. Probably sell it for like 10 silver. It's still yellow at 35. You didn't sleep very well? I'm sorry. Something I never really did either was cooking, and that could be really good because cooking, when you make food that way, your foods give you buffs. That could be nice. Really? In green, it's leveled. I'm having better luck leveling in green than I am. Let's get to 40, then we can make that and get us +1 intelligence. Inteligente. Yes, okay.
Watch your back.
I almost sold it. So, learn that. Red linen robe needs coarse thread and red dye.
Speak quickly.
So what I should do is actually make a bunch of these before they leave, because I'm pretty sure the red linen robe will stay orange for longer. For 22. Hold on. What do you sell for? Might as well make what sells for the most, right? 31. Heck yeah, that's a profit. And it's still orange. All right. Now we're on to here. When you craft, you got to spend money, but we're going to make a little money. We could make a lot more money just by selling the linen cloth, but whatever. Oh, I should have put that troll's blood on. Perfect. That. Great, my robe. Finally, we can get out of this stupid shirt. I really like wearing robes when I'm a caster. So, we made our first magical item, red linen robe. 19 armor, so 4 more armor, but +1 intellect. Quip. We look good, fam. We look real good. Made it myself.
Be quick about your business.
Yeah, I mean, don't jinx us. But it could be Saturdays.
Beware the living.
You dye this robe purple? No. So it's a specific recipe. And yeah, it's just there are purple robes. I don't have it right now. I'm gonna make me some bandages though, because those things will literally save our life at some point. I'll probably like fear something and you know, bandage. I mean, we're a bony boy. I'm gonna make some bandages. In fact, I'm gonna go look at the trainer to see when we can make the improved bandage before I possibly go over that cap. What's up, Marge Simpson?
Quickly.
That's at 40. We will not reach that, but that's okay. Let's see. 19 armor. Plus 1 int. Yeah, I guess it won't link in that, unfortunately. Yeah, once we can make the next one, that's pretty nice because it's 114 healing instead of 66. The enemies are bound! They're a warrior.
What you need.
Right? Yeah, they're a warrior. They should get a blacksmith buddy. They're organized just a wee bit.
Trust no one.
I will trust Astra, okay? You don't tell me what to do, lady. If I want to trust Astra, I will. You don't tell me what to do, trade goods lady.
Speak quickly.
Oh, I love that kind of staff. It's just so good looking.
Dark Lady, watch over you.
I should really go learn staves. I need to go to the Undercity anyways. I don't know if you can learn I feel like the Undercity is the staff place, but we'll find out. So I'm going to go down here to Undercity, turn in Lich's identity, as well as find the weapons master. I can trust you guys? Oh, Huxtables, Heathcliff Huxtables. Believe in Joe. Are you gonna play the Persona 3 bit? I've never played Persona anything, so shouldn't I start with one? I didn't know there was gonna be a remake. So at the moment, the answer is I don't know. I do not know. I would like to play Persona, but I also am under the impression that they're very long games. And, yeah, see? Persona games are long, so no, I know, like, my next Let's Play after, like, my next big, long Let's Play, I should say, because after either Vesperia or Xenogears, whichever one ends first, I'm gonna do a shorter game. So I don't have two very long games side by side. But... Oh, trade, that's why I wouldn't link, gotcha. But... My next long game is going to be something like Final Fantasy IX or Final Fantasy X. I really want to get into a Final Fantasy game. It's been... I don't know, when's the last time I played one? Was Final Fantasy 12? I mean, I guess you can count 14. I don't count World of Final Fantasy since it's a spin-off. But I'd like to play another mainline Final Fantasy. And I'm really looking at 10. I think it's a little shorter than 9, if I am correct. I could be wrong. And that's the thing, I'm not doing it to try to find story connections. I just feel like sometimes it's nice to start at the beginning so you can watch all those dead characters. That sucks. So I can watch the growth of the systems.
Now, bitch!
Morning, next one. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? I need to get the Flight Master. Right?
What now? Beware the living.
What is it?
Commendations? Ah, I forgot about those. I'm Sulk? Neat. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do Final Fantasy X next. I really want to try that, you know, unique builds. I mean, it'll essentially play the same, I presume. But like, I want Kamara to be my Black Mage. I want Lulu to be my melee kind of thing. I've never beaten the game. I've never gotten that far, to be honest. I think I've gotten to, oh, where did I get to? When Kamari has to fight the other Ronso. Mount Gagazet or whatever. So I guess that's kind of far. Final Fantasy IX might be. I do not say that it will be, because it might be. And it's possible there's something else that pops up in my head besides those two. Is it best music? I don't remember it. That excites me. But yeah, it's just, that's what I've been feeling lately.
I'm listening.
You've more Return to Gunther's spellbook to him? Oh my goodness, you guys just want me to do everything around here. Now let's find, I think the Weapons Master's in the Warrior's Quarter. Nope, wrong Battle Master. Weapon Master. War Quarter, I thought so. Makes all the sense. And I love that they show it on the map, and they even tell you, hey, it's on the inner quarter. I really like the Undercity. I think it's just so freaking easy to traverse. Because it's a circle, and you go on the inside circle, and bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bang. Bow?
This had better be good.
Oh, right. Oh, while I'm here...
I have exactly what you need. Embrace the shadow.
Speak quickly.
Spirit. Ooh, that's pretty. Bags. Yeah.
Remember, patience, discipline.
What now?
Okay, to make bags, I need 3, so 6. Good job. Good job for being here, everybody. You can't effectively make characters in X different roles early on. They're mostly locked out of the other part. No, there's, in the HD version, there's, expert grid where everyone starts in the middle. So, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Boom. Made my own bags.
Victory for Sylvanas.
Oh, Sylvanas. Yeah, you really can, which I think is such a cool thing. I've played the HD version up to meeting Yuna. And I was like, I don't want to play this on my own. I want to stream it. And that was years ago. I can't tell you how many years ago it was, because I just don't remember. But yeah. Please teach me the way of the staff. You probably
This
don't.
had better be good.
10 gold for one-handed swords. Holy crap. Sergio!
Beware, our enemy is abound.
Sergio, how you doing? Do I want to learn? Probably not yet. Oh, did Beagle play when I wanted to? That makes sense. He does that a lot. I'll like talk about a game. And I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like Dragon Quest 11. Just got your coffee? Oh, hell yeah. I know he did that stream for Disgaea. Is he not playing it anymore? Was it like a one-off? Won't stop talking? Well, he's my friend. I'm supposed to talk to him, and I want him to experience games that I think he'd enjoy, like Chrono Trigger, like Radiata stories like Dragon Quest, and he was super resistant to Dragon Quest as well. He was like, "Ah, oh, it seems really long. I don't think I'm gonna like it. I don't know." I was like, "Dude, you like Final Fantasy X? You'll be fine." And he really loved it, and it did really well for his channel, which is fantastic. The stream was reward. I mean, I know that, but like that was a lot of gift subs, so I kind of expected more than one stream out of it. Plus, that's like the sky is like Final Fantasy Tactics. You can't just play it once to be like and actually experience it. You got to get through that massive dialogue at the beginning. I feel like he should treat those games like Wolf God from Lobos, where it has to be a shorter game that you can viably really get into in a single stream. To where, you know, an RPG, a JRPG is probably not the right choice. Don't tell us that, tell Beagle. Maybe I shall. Oh, hey! Undead Ringer. Boom, boom. Kind of want to play Overwatch 2 because I liked Overwatch 1 a lot, but I don't want to get back into that. Actually, I was actually talking to Frank a few days ago. I just reached out to him, you know, to see how he's doing, and he said, "Yeah, I was just thinking about how we don't talk as much anymore." I was like, "Well, then, fucking message me." That's all you have to do. If you're thinking about, "Oh, I don't talk to this person," just say, "Hey, man, just want to say hi." Like, you don't have to have a conversation. That's what I did. I just messaged him, like, saying, "Hey, man, I miss you. I hope you're doing well." And we talked for like 3 messages. That's all it is. If you ever miss somebody, even if you don't want to sit there and have a long conversation, just, you know, text them or message them on Discord. Be like, "Hey, I can't really talk much right now, but I just want you to know I'm thinking about you. Want to just say hi. Hope you're doing well," and just walk away. That's the glory of text. You can just walk away after that. Get back to him in like 3 days. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's why whenever people are like, "Oh man, think of you wherever you are." Where does you live? Ohio? I live in Iowa? Ohio. Thought of that right now. Okay. I did something last night that had me cracking up for a good 20 seconds. And I mean, I was like getting to the point where it's like hard to breathe. And no, it wasn't that funny. But like, Oates and I typically go to bed watching a funny video. She'll typically roll over 5 minutes in, and I'll finish the next 10 minutes. And so, you know, I go to bed with her already kind of being asleep. So the video ended.
Remember, patience, discipline.
The video had ended, and I shake her shoulder. I'm like, "Oates, oh, she have to wake up." She's like, "What? What?" I was like, "It's time for bed." I had no reason to laugh like I did. Oh, but it was so fun. Let's see, what am I doing? We'll play the altar just off the southern coast of this island. Okay. Well, last night I thought I was gonna play Subnautica. And then I woke up this morning, I was like, I just want to play WoW. So I deleted that one and remade it. So if you look in Discord, it very much says WoW Classic Hardcore. Boom. I just thought it was the funniest thing, and for some reason it was also like 11:30 at night, so I was going right in my right mind. I just started laughing way too hard. I will someday, X, when I will. Right now, this is where my mind is. But do I still only have Corruption 1? Wait till we get Corruption 2. Hello.
You have disturbed my rest, Warlock. Now face my wrath.
Ma'am, I'm gonna mess up your brains. You don't have brains, what am I talking about? No loots? Okay. Return to Gunther on his island. See, you can tell this archive because I added the truly. I mean, I thought it was fun. Made me laugh. Bone buckler. Actually looks like bone. Very good job. Bring the nether gem to the city.
Beware the living.
Oh, let's get on over to here. We gotta go to the Scarlet Watch. Pretty sure that's where we gotta go. Yeah, past Foul's Rest. Okay. Any hidden chest? It's like the undead's breathing and the Argonian's breathing in an Elder Scrolls. Like, they don't seem to help a lot because, like, they don't put anything in the water. Very rarely. But every now and then you find something to do with water and you're like, oh, damn, that feels cool. I always was sad that you couldn't tame the Dark Hounds because they're demons. You good. You're good. Go to passive and we're just gonna hoof it. Look at this grab. Oh fuck. Don't say that. Yeah, you guys can do that. I'm so glad we can make bags though. We now have 12 extra slots. Who's Haskell? Why does that sound so familiar? Aside from the fact that there was a street called Haskell, and my friend's grandma was Miss Haskell. Not on Haskell, though, funny enough. Even as undead, you have an air meter. So, undead can breathe or hold their breath 300% longer than normal, but in later iterations of World of Warcraft, they just have the ability to breathe forever. I think it's because my guess is they probably thought underwater was going to be a lot more powerful. Probably for things like PvP, so they wanted some level of balance. But yeah, they fixed that later. So they recognize that it makes no sense. And I can't remember when it happened, but eventually undead just don't have to breathe underwater. And so it's indefinite. Honestly though, if you're gonna be in the water, if you're not a druid water form, get out, you're too slow. They just don't breathe. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember what it says. I think it reads as they don't have to breathe, but I could be wrong. Level 30 to 46, the meeting stone for the Scarlet Monastery. I wonder if we're gonna do, I would love to do Ragefire Chasm. It's just a fun place, but we'd have to go to Orgrimmar, which isn't that far. We can take the Zeppelin. Oh! Oh! Run away! That went poorly very fast. At least my defense skill went up. That's good. I hate the distance in which melee can hit you. It's so high. It's so high. Angry ladies, unloved ladies. 3 health per second. That we need better food. We need next level food. Alright, so be on the lookout for angry ladies. And I think there's some angry lads. I don't know, can you call an old man a lad? I believe the friars here are like the bald men. Hey you, come over here. Don't you resist me? Get out of here, Friar. Oh god, some of the angry ladies in Elden Ring. Eat your brains, man. Eat your brains. Look at that, we did a good chunk of her health while she was just running around. Jesse, we need to cook. Is that a Breaking Bad reference? I watched 2 episodes of that and decided it wasn't for me. But I've seen a lot of short clips of it on like YouTube Shorts. You know what? If this is what internet is like on Sundays versus Saturdays, it's a darn good thing that we rescheduled streams to Sundays. Or else I'd just be constantly sad.
Still recharging.
Got him. Honestly, I think we're just gonna slaughter because they drop cloth. I know. Jinx, I'm sorry. Here's the downfall of being a Warlock. I constantly have Dreadsteed stuck in my head. For those of you that don't know, Dreadsteed is the first song I ever wrote for the progressive metal band Metatonic that I joined back in San Diego when I was like 19. The tattoo I have on my left shoulder. Oh, you know it, Sergio, that's right. So what happened was I joined the band learning the song Time Lapse, which the guitarist had written about alien abduction. It was pretty cool. And then they're like, well, we want to see, you know, we want you to join the band, but we also want to see what your writing is like. And so he showed me the song. He's like, it had this real galloping feel, kind of like the Trooper to an extent from Iron Maiden. And he's like, it's called Dreadsteed. I'm writing it about the World of Warcraft mount. And I was like, oh, cool, you play it? And I started reading it, and I'm like, none of these lyrics make sense. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, they're not accurate to the lore at all. He's like, well, I don't know the lore. I was like, what is Ember Hill? He's like, I don't know, it rhymed. I was like, that's not a thing. So I did some more research on the Dreadsteed, learned about them coming from the planet of Zoroth, that Dreadlords would eat their hearts, and it kind of came around the idea of this Warlock summoning them, and how like they're now under the Warlock's control, but they're also safe because of that. Like the Dreadlords don't get to eat them anymore. Dreadlords are these huge demons, by the way. And so I wrote that, and he's like, dude, these lyrics are super nerdy. I was like, yeah. So all I have in my head this whole time is, especially because I call out the term immolate. I call out Curse of Agony in that song. I was like, how do I make this as thematic as possible? Safer in numbers. Sorry, caps.
I need to target something first.
Get her before we... Oh god, look at all these dots. Her life sucks. Kill the booty guards. I got her. I got her.
My mana is low.
Let's kill things that are already low. Mess up your brains. You know how dangerous it is to loot that? Darnassian cheese, I bet. Take care. Lord of the Rot. That's great for miners. Dual locks. Seriously, 2 locks or 2 hunters get together, automatically a party of 4. How old is this game? That reminds me of the one Sergio, I will punch you in the dickus. It's old. I played this in high school. You would come over and I'd just play it. That's what I kind of miss about high school days. Your friends would come over and you'd just be in the same room together. Like, well, the neighbors are arguing. We have, so on our right side, we have neighbors that are an old couple they own the house. But to the left, there's some renters. And we've been told that they fight. Wow, I'm just hearing, fuck you, you're a bitch. Just like you. I can't understand everything they're saying, but sounds like a breakup conversation? I don't know. I mean, I think they only utilized classic WoW because they stayed in Elwyn Forest, basically, which is the humans' main area. A lot of fun. The horror movies we would go to. Oh, God. So many B films, yeah. And that was the thing. Like, Sergio would come over, he'd watch, like, Berserk, and I didn't like Berserk. And I would just play WoW, and we just talk the whole time. Or he'd watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and that's what got me into Aqua Teen. Cause we are the Aqua Teen, make the homies say ho, and the girlies wanna scream. You know? I need to make one of you. It's really bad. Like, they need to shut the fuck up and not argue like that out in public. They need to figure out how to talk to each other in kinder words and softer tones. But hey, that's people for you.
Give me a soul shard.
The worst fight Oates and I ever had. I'd gotten off work early, but I was exhausted. And she was on her way home from work. I thought she was going to go grocery shopping, so we'd kind of discussed that, but I guess me telling her that I got off early made her assume I was. She got home, there were no groceries, we had no food. She just went silent on me. She got pissed. And she marched out, got into her car to go to the grocery store. She kept being like, please talk to me. I jumped in the car with her. She just silent treatmented me for like the entire ride, and then for part of the way in the grocery store. And then I don't know what happened, but we just started giggling together. I said something or she said something, and we basically got over it. And we were like, okay, it was a lack of communication. That's what it was. I didn't communicate to her that, hey, I was exhausted. It didn't matter that I got up early. I was exhausted, and that was back when we took turns, by the way. It used to be, hey, it's your week to go grocery shopping. Hey, it's my week. Now we just go together every time, and it's literally solved the problem. Ladies and gents, do stuff with your significant other. Do it. It'll save you such a headache. Just work together. So it's just, we've not really had any big fights. We've had some big conversations, sure, but like we work them out. We talk about them. We work on ourselves, and that's why we get to be successful. The Berserk pendant. I didn't remember I got you. Love that word, makes me smile. Aw. Well, if you ever do X1, just communicate. You know, the good and the bad, because if you don't communicate the good, they don't feel as special. If you don't communicate the bad, it bubbles up and becomes resentful. You get into resentment, or you don't talk about the things that bug you. Is that a human? Are you gonna go commit suicide? Oh no, you're transformed. Okay. They're not really a human. Whew. I was like, the guards are gonna kill you, man. Everyone's like clicking on him and stuff. What's up, Solomon? What are you doing here? You should be working on your new book. Everybody in the chat, Solomon is an author of 2 books so far. Third one is being worked on. If you want to post a link to your first book, feel free. I've read them both. They're really good. You don't want one? That's okay. You don't have to. I'm just saying if you have one. But this also applies to friendships. If you want to be close with people. The fact that you can inspect them, by the way, is the easiest way to know that they're not a human. I mean, here it tells you undead, but like, you cannot inspect someone of the other faction. So you went and installed this, trying to get my old character infos to load. Wowhead and Blizzard's own site. Didn't know there was new species and new... Oh, there's a lot of new species, actually. Yeah, there's the little foxes. The demon hunter's a new class that only elves can be. There's the robot gnomes. There's the dark iron dwarves. There's a lot. Oh yeah, the dragons. I haven't played them. I haven't played Dragonflight. When I was playing last was in Shadowlands with Oats, and I had a robotic... I forget what they're called. Gear gnomes or robo gnomes. I don't know. Who was a Death Knight. I had a Draenei Shaman. My Gnome Mage, obviously. And those were the ones I actually... And my... well, unfortunately, it was a Worgen druid. I was originally a night elf, but one time I was like, oh, I want to be a Worgen, they're so cool, and then I regretted it so much. I was like, this is stupid. Can you be a firebirdie? You can be a fire kitty. Wow, fire cat form. You can earn this. You go to Firelands, and then you can transmog yourself to be this as your cat form. It's actually really amazing. Wow. Cat forms. There's so many good ones. Like, I'm so impressed with what they did with druids. Like, for instance, you have all these cool things. You get your feathers. You've got this more bestial kind. You've got kind of OG. The trolls look different from the Worgen, which look different from the Tauren, which will look different from... This is just base form. That's just base. So this is vanilla. Night Elf versus Tauren. This is Wrath of the Lich King. They got a bit smoother, and this is more modern, it looks like. But yeah, the trolls, they get to keep their cool hairstyles. So they're the same account. You do one subscription, and that lets you play WoW Classic, WoW Classic Hardcore, WoW Modern, and yeah, you can play all the stuff. You have to download this. They're separate game clients, so you do have to download them differently.
I am forsaken.
Oh, interesting. You summoned Gunther.
Been a long time, Belthor, my friend.
That's right, there's High Mountain Tour, I forgot. Gotcha. Well, it sounds like it's still progressing, which is fantastic. And I'm just glad for you. I've always meant to ask, and I don't know if this is appropriate or not, so if it's not appropriate, actually, I just won't ask it. How about that? Easy peasy. I just won't ask it, because I don't know if it's appropriate, so it's better that way. But my hope someday is to get back into wanting to write my own book, to refine it and to finish it. If I do that, I do wonder if you'd be willing to work with me, even on like a very minor level, more so in terms of structure, because content-wise, I don't want to give that up. You hear people that they have an idea, then they get someone to help, and they change their book, and they're unhappy with it. I'm like, I just need help with organization, structure, and pacing. Like, what can I take out? Because to me, it's all important, but I'm positive I can take some stuff out. Like in my novel or book, whatever you want to call it, that I've started writing years and years ago and given up on, we don't leave the city for a long time. But that's okay, I think, because we do a lot in the city. We get character development, because while the story is told from one character, it's really about 4 characters as a group. So it's kind of got a Dresden Files approach in terms of the narrative, in terms of the presentation, but more of a Dragonlance group system and structure. And I have parts where it's like basically just this one guy's chapter with his friends interacting. Another part where it's just this one guy's section. And to me, they're very special because they really show off characters really, I think, really well. You get to know them, you get to understand them, especially considering it's a very ragtag group. Like it's a gnome wizard, a lizard person, druid, very D&D inspired, obviously. A goblin rager who just tooth and claw, and a dwarf cleric. Dude, there's some movie on TV, Silent Hill Ascension? You didn't like Dresden Files? I did. A lot. I like Dresden Files a lot, but more so I'm talking about like it's a first person book, so like the main character is the one telling you the story. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you gotta install the game, and the game is like 4 megabytes, or 4 gigabytes. It's super small. But yeah, Dresden Files is actually what really got me into reading a lot, so I'm appreciative of it. But I then also fell out of it because I was like, like I could really do without the sex scenes. Like I just don't need them. They don't help me enjoy the story whatsoever. I find them very awkward. I don't enjoy sex scenes in movies. I don't enjoy sex scenes in novels. They just, to me, they hurt my enjoyment. If I want an erotic novel, I'd read an erotic novel, but I don't. So, but I think how magic is presented in Dresden Files is really fun. Oh, that's a big upgrade. Minimum becomes maximum, and it's faster. Let's look at that before we do. Nice, looks good. Not that we're doing that often anymore, but it's good to have a good thing. Yeah, like just...
I am forsaken.
It's too much male power fantasy. I mean... Is that any worse than female power fantasy? At the end of the day, people do want to be able to relate. And so if a guy's reading that book, it might feel good to have that. But... as you get further into the Dresden Files, oh, there's a lot more. There are actually far more powerful females in the book. Let me get that. Take the suggestions from my beta readers and editors and revise my novels. But yeah, next year I'm going to take the publishing break. Nice. Very cool. I mean, I just love that. For Dresden Files, it was fun because he was very different. Oh, I don't want to go to Plaguelands. I want to go to Silverpine. It was very different at the time, at least. A lot of people have copied him now. But I enjoyed the snarkiness, the fact that he was a wizard, but he wasn't traditional. Oh yeah, I don't need the sex at all. I think Dresden Files would be 10 times better without that. Sometimes I think the sex appeal can be helpful in the narrative, like Bianca being this incredibly sexy vampiress. And she runs a brothel. Like it helps with what her goal is because it's a political game for her. Then when it comes to his eventual girlfriend, she uses her sex appeal to kind of get the scoops that she needs. So it's unfortunately very realistic to the world. Like it's not lying about it. Like there are reporters that will use their good looks to try to get the story. My hopes is they don't go all the way, but a little flirting can get you into the right doors. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that's what we see happen in many cases. And so it's more so, I'd say, a realistic look at archetypes But again, if we could just skip the sex scenes entirely, that'd be great. If we could tone down the sexualization, that'd also be great, because at the end of the day, I'm there for the magic. Like, when you get into the Black Denarian portions of Dresden Files, oh my god, it's just so evil. It's so freaking evil. And even Dresden is like, holy shit, this is bad. Because it's demons from the era of Jesus. Like, it's old evil that had to be locked away. And it's like, Nicodemus is such an amazing character to have in the books. And then you bring in people like Queen Mob and Tatiana, and you bring in the Fae. And I know, if you want to see a strong female, the way that Queen Mob was written is just like strong. Not just magically, but in personality. And she's like, sexuality? Who cares? I'm the freaking Queen of Night and Winter. I'll just destroy your brain. I love how Queen Mob was written in Dresden Files. They're just so fascinating. But again, it's really, gosh, what's his girlfriend's name? Because Bianca's the Countess of the Red Court. I also love the Wizard Courts. The white are the beautiful ones. The red are horrific. Black are even worse. They're basically a decayed corpse. They're basically the Nosferatu. Adaptation was kind of... I enjoyed the TV adaptation. I just, it was rushed, obviously, but I thought it was really fun. I loved the guy that played him. Silver Pine Forest, my favorite location in WoW Classic. Yeah, I love the guy that played it, but yeah, I wished Harry wasn't such a pig. That'd be great. Air and darkness. The afraid mortal. There you go. Air and darkness. Yeah, I wish Dresden wasn't such a pig, because it gets old kind of fast. But then I like his... Like, I like it when you hear about his humanity, like, how magic affects his day-to-day, how he's like, yeah, I've got to take really cold showers because my magic aura just breaks everything, and I've got to drive this really old car because if it has a hint of a microchip, it doesn't work. And I'm like, dude, having to take cold showers in Chicago winter, that sucks. So it's things like that I find very interesting. But I've tried to go back and read them, and I'm not interested anymore. I think in my early 20s, I was like, yeah, this is great. And now I'm like, let's go back to Dragonlance, where things are, like, the sexuality you have in Dragonlance is so tame. And so, it's fade to black, which is wonderful. Like, there'll be a little bit of lusting or talking about how the elves are just so much prettier than humans, things like that. And I'm like... And then you stop. Yeah? You stop. It's great. You don't freaking go into 12 hours of detail what someone's leg did in their lifted skirt or whatever. I asked, or what do you do?
Hello.
Nothing. I don't remember the show that well, so... I think I only watched it twice, and that was over 10 years ago. I just wanted to get that on the map. But yeah, I mean, Dresden Files to me is a great starting point. Tamora Pierce by Terry Brooks. I've never read that. Yeah. Oh, those are... Tamora Pierce is a writer. Gotcha. I know I've heard of Terry Brooks, but I've never read them. I've also never read Brandon Sanderson, who I believe is really good. I'm trying to remember their name, but they wrote a series called The Alchemist. And to me, it felt very... like, different approach to Harry Potter, which was a really neat idea. It was two young kids that met Nicholas Flamel, the guy that created the Alchemist Stone and Perennial, and those two had to train them to become magic users because a whole bunch of bad stuff was coming up, and it was such a fun thing. And I only got through the first 2 books. Oh god, Worgen. Back when Worgen were just enemies. But over time, I also just kind of stepped away from modern fantasy, and was like, either classic fantasy like Dragonlance from Margaret Weis, or horror. Like, I will always push Clive Barker's Hellraiser series, especially the second novel, The Scarlet Gospel. It is the most interesting adaptation of hell I've ever read. It is intriguing. It is terrifying. It is. It begs you to find out what happens next every page, and I was just like, I've never been so impressed with a book since The Scarlet Gospel. For anyone that don't know, that is the Hellraiser character, Pinhead, from the Hellraiser films. It's based off of the Hellbound Heart, and the Scarlet Gospel is book 2. And the premise is Pinhead is tired of Lucifer being in control of hell and wants to take over. And the rest is up to you to decide. Ouch. Got this itch on the back of my leg. Like in the middle of my thigh. I think I got bit by something yesterday when I was doing some cleanup in the yard. It's pretty ableist. That's unfortunate.
What do you require?
My question is, does it get ableist to be mean, or does it get ableist to maybe give that character growth later? I'm not trying to say it's okay to do it, but I also believe that it's logical to see characters that have challenges, and hopefully they have a chance to overcome them. Because if they don't, then you're just picking on them.
That better be good.
Sometimes I do believe you have to put someone in a sad light to lift them up more. No, you don't have to, but it can really give them a strong character growth and arc. And then it's Queen of Fantasy herself, JWJ. To me, the Queen of Fantasy is Margaret Weis. So we have differing opinions there. Margaret Weis has been doing this since the 80s. I don't know who this other person is, so maybe they have been doing it longer. I don't know.
Trust no one.
Collect 6 grizzled hots. You'll kill some bears, but let's see if there are any more. If I read any Gamlet, never even heard of it. Oates reads a series called The Game, which is like a character falls into an MMO and they recognize that they're in an MMO kind of thing. It just sounds really neat and want to give it a try. Uh-oh, you're LOLing at me. Am I showing my ignorance? I do that a lot. I don't know everything. Oh, cool. Okay, I just watched that movie for the first time last month, and it was fantastic. Okay, so let's go do Grizzled Hearts, Iron Blood, and Moonrage White Caps. And Argle. But it doesn't mean that Margaret Weis can't also be the Queen of Fantasy. You can have, in my opinion, more than one. And I don't know if you would see a difference between classic fantasy, high fantasy, modern fantasy, and I would see Margaret Weis as just this amazing patron of high fantasy, because I would read Dragonlance over Lord of the Rings any freaking day of the week. Any day of the week. To me, it's far more digestible while still remaining complex. And incredibly interesting. Like, her character growth on people like Raistlin, or Riverwind, or honestly anybody. You can pick any one of her characters. Even freaking Goalie Dwarfs get great character development. But again, we also all just have our own preferences. And to me, that's what makes the world of fantasy so neat, that you can make it whatever you want and no one can tell you you're wrong. If you make necromancers the good guys and summoning undead is somehow morally good in your narrative, you can make that happen if you want to. And I think that's really a cool thing. And that's the joy of fantasy, is you're never wrong. You are not. And if someone says, no, that's not right, it's like, in a Tolkien sense, sure, but this isn't Tolkien. And to me, that's really special. Sci-fi, you kind of get a little more limited to making some relative sense scientifically. But fantasy, you literally be like, yeah, when someone gets hit by a fire spell, they freeze. Because in this universe, you know, fire, when you're hit by fire, it saps all warmth out of you. Like, you can make that happen in fantasy if you want it to. To me, that's just such a neat level of flexibility.
Too far away.
That's it? That's amazing. In the Dragonlance, so Margaret Weiss's thing, you have to go to the Tower of High Sorcery, you gotta go through school, and then you have to do the trial in the Tower of High Sorcery, where a lot of people just die, because it's really tough. But then, it helps create people as powerful as Raceland. But I would much prefer their universe, because I don't want to have to go through the Tower of High Sorcery, because I'd probably die. So I like the easier route. And I like anyone can do it kind of thing, not having to be born into it. Like in the Potterverse, if you're not born with magic, you don't have it, and that sucks. In the Dragonlance world, I think you can learn it, but it's easier to be born into it. There's your body. Shoot that body. Interesting. Sounds like a mind maze spell from Dungeons and Dragons. Just, yeah. I would actually love the idea of a character wanting to be a magic user their whole life, and then when they finally achieve it, but they see what you have to go through to become it, they say no. They're like, oh, you succeeded, you're this now. They're like, nope. And that could like start some kind of, you know, political shift in the perception of magic, because it'd be kind of cool for, like, you know, this high-ranking order of wizards to actually be terrible people. I mean, when you bring fantasy in, it could be how it works. And so I'm not trying to take away from autistic folks, because I agree that's not how it works. It's
I'm out of range.
who the person is. It's a very complex thing in development that we still don't fully understand. But in a magical sense, when you can cure anything with magic, if the world allows that, of course, it's interesting. I mean, it sounds like they're treating autism like a split personality, though, which does sound really confusing and sounds very like it needs to go away instead of the world needs to learn how to work with you and you need to learn how to work with the world. Because to me, that's what autism is. People need to learn how to work with the individuals that have it, and the individuals also need to learn to adapt to the world around them, just like everybody. It's harder in some ways, but it's, to me, it's, while it brings its own challenges, it's not something to vilify. It's not something to taunt. It's not something to essentially bring harm to some about it. Oh, not everyone can become a wizard? Oh, okay, so the oath isn't just like, I solemnly swear to eat Eggo waffles by warming them on my tum-tum, just like Soulkrist. Darn. Okay, I actually don't want to venture too far in here, because once they start spawning again... I've actually always been interested of how fantasy authors would approach mental illness and cognitive disorders and social disorders with curative magics, like, because it almost sounds mean sometimes to be like, oh, well, we have to cure you. It's like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong with someone, they're just different. And I think that's a very important thing to acknowledge. Sometimes people are just different from whatever the quote-unquote norm is. Oh, okay. So magic is a tough thing. I like that. Okay, good, good. I don't need you guys, but I need burrs. It's a dark runner. Not what I need, but they're... Oh, we're done with the... We're done. Hey, Hiro-san, how you... Oh, hello! Hey, Hiro-san. Hey, come around for us! Oh, dang, we're almost leveled. Didn't even notice. I've actually not been a fan of the trope of, like, magic in itself as this creature entity that you have to, like, control or ward off. Before it corrupts you, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't like that. I prefer that magic is more like a force of nature. That if you use it poorly, you could die. You could very much die. But that's because, like, you know, if you misuse a missile, you can die. I don't like it when magic's alive, essentially, in a universe. To me, that's not fun. But to some people it is, and that's fine. Again, I prefer when it's a challenging thing to control. I still think, leveled, that Dragonlance has one of the best magic systems because it's hard, and it's also kind of controlled by the gods. To me, I find that to be a very fun approach because the gods are also very interesting in the Dragonlance era. They're actually involved until they're not involved at all, but then they're involved again. But they're always kind of there. Even though people don't believe it, it's like, well, without Lunatari, you don't have magic. And I think that's really neat. Grizzled Hearts. Nope. Oh man, here we go with Blizzard's fetch quest. Loot that body. But again, that's the joy of fantasy, is that we have so many iterations that it just it really doesn't matter what we all like or dislike because there's always another option. And to me that's really cool. What one person's like, another person might not. And so you just move on to the next author. And I mean, the way that people have been able to self-publish nowadays as well, more people can get their ideas out there. And I just think that's super cool. Can we get a fucking heart? Tamora Pierce? Don't know about them, but maybe. I've only read the Dragonlance Chronicles, so my goal is to read all of the Dragonlance books. I'm working through them right now, but I'm rereading the initial Chronicles. I'm in, finally got a heart. I'm currently in Winter Night. We're really seeing Raceland's power grow. You all are aware, to some degree or not, that Raceland is my favorite wizard of all time. AKA, sorry, his full name, Raceland Magier, which is why my last name is Magier, where it came from. So, obviously, I think he's amazing. But to me, I find him to be one of the most interesting and complex characters because he changes so much. But his change makes sense. It's not like, it doesn't feel random. It doesn't feel like, what? Why did you do that? It feels like, yeah, I could see that coming. I could see it not happening. But I can definitely see why it happened. And so you never feel like you're just being tricked, but you're always kind of like hoping that he'll do something a little nicer. But then he does like the nicest thing in the world. You're like, huh? Man's got a heart of gold. He also has skin of gold and eyes of gold. But to be fair, people are like, why is Raceland such a dick? Why is he so mean all the time? Well, let's see. He's constantly sick. Forever, and because his eyes have the shapes of an hourglass, he can only see things through the passage of time. So he can look at the most beautiful person, the most beautiful scene in the world, and all he'll see is decay. He'll look at a gorgeous elven maiden and see a rotting corpse. You're gonna get a little negative when you see things through the passage of time. Gonna get a little negative. when you can no longer see the beauty of a flower, but only a decayed and rotted forest. You're gonna get angies. And I think it's such an interesting affliction, but that's something he took up to get as powerful as he is.
I need to get closer.
Ooh, someone had a fire here.
Plus, I also love Tasselhoff. He's so fun. I was reading a part where the companions had found like an elven settlement and they're not getting on well, and they're like,
Isn't ready yet.
Tasselhoff's getting all angry, like how elves are obsessed with possessions and everyone's obsessed with possessions. He's like, well, if this were a kindred place, everyone would just be this would be everyone's stuff. And an elf lord gets up and leaves his purse there, and so it's like, but then Tasselhoff quickly forgot about his annoyance with possessions and started looking through this, because kindred just love stuff. They don't steal, by the way, they find stuff. Think he regrets it? No, he does not. Raceland does not regret his decision to essentially become the most powerful wizard ever. He has times where it's hard, but he's very open about, I don't regret it, I would make the choice again and again. The things he had to do in the Tower of High Sorcery to obtain this power, greater power than any wizard before him, he had to give up more. He gave up his body, he gave up his, I'm not going to spoil it, because what he did in that Tower of High Sorcery is rough for Race. So, he did a lot. Gonna give Autumn yeah, I'm actually doing audiobooks right now. The narrator, I didn't like the narrator at first, and now I'm like, yeah, this narrator's doing a great job. But yeah, Raceland does not regret it at all. I think he has times where he recognizes how hard it is. But yeah, he'd do it again and again. It's part of his, he knows it's necessary. Like, Raceland is the only one of the party that's aware of how important he is, and he needs to. Like, you're dealing with the heroes of the Lance, the heroes that will save the world from the dark god Takesis, essentially Tiamat. And he's the only one that really recognizes just how damn important he is to that happening, and he will do anything to make sure it's okay. 4 continents, you mean 2? I guess you can count. No, Eastern Kingdom, that's just, I guess, that's an island. I don't know. Autumn Twilight's a great start. And if you want a synopsis of the 3 books, you can actually just watch the animated film. It is a synopsis of all 3 books. Even though it's called Dragons of Autumn Twilight, it's all of them. All 3 of them together. Oh, gotcha, Pandaria, yeah. Well, that would explain it. No! 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 Get him! Get him! The roaming elite. Ah, we made it to level 13. So now if I enter the world, I cannot help you, champion.